Hi garden friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Era and this is Gardening on Purpose. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A. For today's video, I want to give you guys a little walkabout in the garden. I actually had a garden walkabout every Sunday, and then when the season ended, I kind of tapered it off, but here we are back in the full swing of the garden season. There's a lot to see. I want to point out what I'm working on, what's blooming, what's not blooming, what's doing great, what's not doing too great, and much, much more. So let's get started. All right, guys, so I'm turning the camera around and I'm very happy with what my garden is looking like here in the second week in April. One of the first things I want to point out that I'm working on, or that I worked on, is that I went around and bought some dill seeds. I went to Walmart and bought some dill seeds, and I've meant to do this last year too. Dill is the host plant for the black swallowtail. I see a lot of swallowtails in my garden, the eastern tiger and the black one. And I need to give them a host plant so I can even have more, right? So I went to Walmart, bought a bunch of dill seeds, and I planted them in these containers, right? So I definitely hope that they germinate and I'll be able to have more butterflies, even more, because last year I had a lot of butterflies, guys. I was so impressed with myself, impressed with the garden, impressed with the fact that they, honored me by coming to my garden. So I have some dill seeds in these containers. I also have some dill seeds planted up here. I cleared this area here, right here, in the back of the garden, so just so I can just randomly plant some dill seeds. I also plan to plant some butterfly weed seeds as well. Those are actually in the fridge in the stratification period. They like to kind of get that winter feel, and it will help with the germination. Next up, want to provide an update on my potatoes. You guys know I grow potatoes in grow bags and they are pushing through. What I do is I plant the tuber, which I buy the seed potatoes at Walmart every year, and I plant it. I put down 3 inches of soil and then I plant it. And then once it comes through that soil, I add more soil again. And then I just keep doing that until the grow bag is filled up. And it looks like they're finally at the point where at the edge of the grow bag. So I'm anticipating, hope, fingers crossed, that I will be able to get some nice potatoes this year. My strawberries are coming through. The only problem with these strawberries is not even the actual strawberries. It's the critters. Those Alvin and the chipmunks are the ones that are messing with my stuff. But I'm hoping to get more strawberries this year. You might have seen a short of my Blue Magic Dutch irises. They're still blooming. They're kind of waning right now, but they are a beauty and definitely a great sight to see in the early spring. I have them all over the place, but what I'm actually going to end up doing is actually move some of them that are all over the other side of the yard and put them all here. Really, really love them, and I've seen the bees and the 1 or 2 butterflies. I've seen them kind of hovering around them, but they are great. These are what I bought as the bulb. The Dutch iris is a bulb, so I bought them as the bulb and I planted them over the years, and they do absolutely amazing in my garden. So I am very excited to show you this one, guys. I'm in the area where I have most of my German bearded irises. Most of these I bought from Lowe's as the rhizome. I did not buy them as the plant. I bought them as the quote-unquote bulb, right? They were $4.98, and they didn't bloom last year, but this guy here is ahead of the pack, and he's starting to bloom. It's not completely open yet, but what a beauty. I bought Well-Dressed Man, Full Tide, Redneck Girl, Decadence, and none of them look like this. So I don't know if I got a wrong variety. It doesn't even matter. And I'm just going to wait for it to completely bloom so I can see exactly what it is. But you might have seen a video back in September when I showed you all the varieties that I bought and where I plan to plant them. But I'm very, very happy. The others are budded up too, and I can tell they're budded up because you can see a little puff in the foliage. Very, very happy. Let me know if you have German bearded iris and how they do in your yard, or if you recognize this variety. Here's another bearded iris that's almost opening, and it has a ladybug on it. This one is Immortality. This one I know for sure is Immortality. It's not completely open yet, and it is a beauty. The last time I showed you guys this red hot poker, it was barely poking out, but here it is with a long stalk, and I see 3 more stalks coming up, guys. So this is definitely going to put on a show this year. Very, very happy. Love these guys because the hummingbirds, I love them. They have that tubular shape, so they definitely gravitate towards them. So I'm very happy about that one. All right, so you might have seen my Home Depot video where I pointed out the early April perennials that they have right now as inventory, right? And I remember in that video, I actually mentioned the fact that they had this lupin or lupine on perennial markdown, guys. This beauty here was $19.98, but I got it for $10. Funny story, when I went to the register, the lady said to me, was the markdown already on the plant? And I said, excuse me? And she's like, oh, no. I'm just wondering because, sometimes people do move that markdown sticker from plant to plant. And I was like, oh, no, it was already on there. So I'm actually paying for what other people are doing. Again, apparently people are moving these stickers and putting on plants so they can get sales, right? But I told her no, and I pointed to her that there were 2 more on the cart over there. So that was interesting. In any case, guys, love looping. It might be a short-lived guy, and it might be a guy that really can't hold the big stalks because these stalks get really long, tall, and then they bend or they break really easily. So I do see these on markdown every single year, and I never buy them, guys. But aren't they gorgeous? Let me know if you have lupin or lupine in your garden and how it does. Now, I don't know where I'm going to put this. And this is what happens. I go to the store, I pick stuff up, and I'm like, oh, where am I going to put this guy? Because it's short-lived, and because I know it's not going to stand up to our storms, it has to go in a container. This is the Scarlet Colorama Crepe Myrtle. It is putting on the foliage fast. One thing with this Crepe Myrtles period, once we stay consistently hot, they will leaf out faster and faster. Now this guy here is not going to stay in the container, but this is what's going to have to stay right now until I figure out what I'm doing. Really, really like this guy. And look at the beautiful foliage. This beauty here, look at what it could look like in the end. Let me know if you have Crepe Myrtles and how they do. The peonies keep going and going, guys. I'm very excited to show you when these finally bloom. Remember when these guys broke ground and they took off from there and they're all looking great? Inspector Laverne, the Sarah Bernhardt, and the Vogue. And of course, I bought the Carl Rosenfield the other day. So very, very excited about how these will look in the coming days. Pretty much all of my Encore azaleas are doing some form of blooming, guys. Here is the Autumn Lily. Really, really nice. One of my favorites. Here's the Autumn Royalty. A nice purple, a light purple one. Here's Autumn Starburst. Really, really nice with that stripe, peachy and white. Here's the Autumn Bonfire. Really nice fiery red. Perennial hibiscus are waking up, guys. Now, these are one of the last guys to wake up, but this year they're waking up earlier than usual. We're only in the 2nd week of April, and here they are. And I simply think it's simply because we have been staying consistently dry, guys. We haven't had a rain in a while, and they definitely love the heat. And I have one right there. Here's another one right here. Really, really nice. These guys are from the folks at Proven Winners. Here I am in the side yard, guys, looking great. Everybody's still alive. Everybody's looking great. The hydrangeas are leafing out. The Pensammen are budded up. The geums are bloomed. Really, really nice. These guys here are still looking great. This one here is the Golden Mop False Cypress. This Crepe Myrtle here is leafing out and looking great. I was going to move it, but I'm going to leave it alone. The Bellini Raspberry by the folks from Broomables. How pretty is this guy? This is a Pensammen, guys, that I got from the folks at Growers Outlet. Now, these are loved by the hummingbirds, but the hummingbirds are not here yet. But I do love that nice blue. Pincushion flowers looking great. It's also known as scabiosa. Again, a really nice plant for pollinators, and it is looking great. This is a transplant that took really, really well. All my roses are budded up. All my Walmart roses that I've had over the years, they're all looking great. And all this transplanting I did, you can see all these buds looking great. Very, very happy with what I'm seeing with my roses, guys. I was worried about them because I wasn't sure they're going to take well to this transplant, but they are looking great. I'm on the foundation in the front of the house now, and this is that beautiful, beautiful Spider's Web Fatia, guys. All this new foliage came out in the last week. Isn't it a beauty? It still hasn't bloomed for me yet. But it's okay at this particular point. I just want the plant to be alive. I bought two from that nursery. One died. And this guy has been holding on. And I'm very, very happy with this Spider's Web Fatia, guys. This guy is in part sun to shade. And I don't really want to move this plant because I feel like if I move it, it's not going to do too well. As it turns out, guys, Nala is a hit. Now, the birds, shall I say, are enjoying or fighting. I can't tell because they are just like doing the most when it comes to this. Some of the birds are running off the other birds. Some of the birds are pretty much fighting them. And then when one guy is enjoying the bath, here he comes to swoop and cause problems. But I just think it's all in good fun. They are really loving this bird bath that I bought. I got this from Ross for $29.99. I took my niece to the store the other day and I saw this. When she went to go look for clothes and shoes, I went to the gardening section and they had this beauty here. I'm really, really happy I got it. Not sure if you noticed these guys in my tour last week, but this is Jack and Diane. I got these guys from At Home. I think they are so cute. I don't know if they're going to last too long out here in the blazing Georgia humid heat and everything. I need to give them some relief, but I really, really like them. I think they're a great addition to the garden. All my lilies have broken ground, and once they broke through that soil, guys, they've been on their way putting on this gorgeous foliage to present these gorgeous blooms soon. I have Asiatics and I have Orientals, which includes Cancun, Stargazer, Casablanca. I also have tiger lilies, which I absolutely adore. Dahlias are beginning to wake up, guys. Another plant that needs consistently hot temperature to keep going. Now, I'm actually surprised that this particular dahlia is actually still alive because I forgot it at the back of the garden and it's been in the cold all this time and all the wet, and it still came back. And remember I told you, dahlias do come back for me in here in zone 8A, but only if they're in the ground. This is the first time I'm seeing a dahlia come back and it's in a container with all that freezing we had. So let's see how it does, guys. I have blackberries in containers, pretty much grow bags, right? This particular one here is the Baby Cakes Blackberry from the folks at Bushel and Berry, and they're flowering, guys. So hopefully I'll get some blackberries this year. You see flowers here, and I have two of them. You know, you need more than one to kind of, increase your yields. Let me know if you have blackberries. I've never gotten them because of the critters, but let's see how they do. If I had to point out something that's not doing well in the garden, guys, it's my Aliums. I spent some decent amount of money on these Allium bulbs, and I've tried Aliums over the years, and I'm try to be a hopeful gardener, but I think this is my last year with them. I buy them from different places and they all just don't do well. So I'm kind of done with Aliums. And on top of that, because they're in the onion family, it's been said that the critters don't bother them. But as you can see, they've been digging into these things. So I'm kind of done with them. Let me know how you do with Aliums. I've seen some really nice ones in people's gardens, and I'm just not in the cards for me, apparently. Let me know what you think, guys. Here is the shade garden with hostas and lungworts and bleeding hearts and Siberian bug loss, corabels, and much, much more. Still no movement on the rest of my edible garden, but starting on the 20th, I will definitely go in on this guy. My arms are feeling way much better. I can do a little bit more here and there, and I'm going to need both arms to really get going on my edible garden, guys. But I still need to fill it in with some leaves and some soil and all that stuff. So I definitely keep you updated on that one. I'm hoping we get some rain soon, guys, to pick things up in the garden. You know, the garden seems to react better when we get rain water. And surprisingly, there hasn't been a lot of rain so far in April, but hopefully hopefully something's in the woodworks. I checked the weather the other day, and in the next 15 days, we are going to be nice. I mean, really, really nice. There's some chance of a shower, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But let me know, guys. Let me know what you think. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted in all my new videos. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.